Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Mr. Muskie Charters, offering full-service guided fishing trips for walleye, muskie, bass, and sturgeon on Lake St. Clair and the Detroit and St. Clair rivers. Booking information is online at mrmuskiecharters.com. Well, hey everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors, and thank you so much for joining us this week. We have got a lot of good stuff on this week's program. We're going to kick things off in the northern part of the Lower Peninsula. Jordan Brown is going to take us up there to do a little bass fishing. Lots of good fishing happening right now in that part of the state. I'm going to take you along on an archery event where people were raising money for some really good causes and some really deserving families. We're also going to stop in at a bird dog trial, something you can be doing this time of the year to get that dog ready for the upcoming fall hunting seasons. Lots of good stuff on this week's program. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse. Offering a variety of meat products, Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 and M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen. By AnglerQuest Pontoons, a mid-Michigan company building boats for fishermen by fishermen. AnglerQuest Pontoons are designed for comfort and functionality. On the web at anglerquestpontoons.com.
We all have one, that perfect spot, a special place we go to smooth out the ripples of the day. Our perfect spot is calling. Our perfect spot is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Michigan-based Vanguard has manufactured quality optics, hunting packs, and accessories for over 30 years. Discover all our most recent innovations at vanguardworld.us.
Under the boat. There he's gonna come out the other side. Not bad one. Well, we're up on Bel Air in the shallow reeds, individual pockets of reeds. Typically, they'll have 2 or 3 fish in a pocket of reeds. They're bedding right at the base of the reeds, and we're looking for them to mark them and hopefully spin back around like we did the last one and able to catch them. These fish have pulled off, a lot of them. They started spawning about a week ago, but with all the cold weather, they just have pulled off, so there's not as many as normal. This has got 4 beds in it, and there's not even a fish on any of these. So we'll just keep looking. We may only get 1 or 2 fish out of each patch, maybe not even that many, but we're gonna go through them all and look at them. And, I mean, there's 100 acres of reeds here to look at, so we'll find a couple more. Look, it's a fish right there.
Mark has been fishing in this part of the state for quite some time now and is familiar with just about every major lake in the region. So even though we were a little early in the spawning season, Mark had a pretty good idea on where to find fish early on.
That's a mule there. If I can keep him on. Oh, look at there. He's not quite as big as I thought he was, but it's a big. Whoa, whoa. Now there is a fish that's been caught a couple times already by somebody. His mouth is already scarred up. 1, 2, looks like 3 times he's been caught, but that's a nice 4-pounder. Well, this year I got up here on May 24th and I started on Skagmog, and it was on fire. There was a fish every 10 feet on a bed, and I really thought they were going to explode on the rest of the lakes. But as the week has gone by, the weather has gotten worse, and we're getting down into the high 40s at night, and these fish want this water to warm up even more, so they'll stay on the beds. These fish are pulling off. I went to Charlevoix and never even found a fish on a bed. Went to Mullet and found a few, but then went back and looked through there, and they were already gone. They pulled in, stayed for a day, and then pulled back off with this cold weather. So just waiting for the weather to get stable and have some good sunny weather. Put these fish back in the shallow and get them back in spawning mode. You know, usually it'll last till the second week of June anyway up here, especially the deeper lakes like Burton Mullet and Elk and Torch. We're on Bel Air and we're in Skinny Water today, but it's not uncommon for those lakes to find fish in 8, 10, 12 foot of water, but it really needs to be stable and warm up.
Despite the cooler conditions, we were still managing to find a few fish, but we were having to cover a lot of ground in order to do so. But that's all part of the game this time of year.
Well, today we've been on Bel Air, fishing reeds. Up north, in my opinion, that the bass spawn on the reeds first. They'll spawn on other things, but they really like spawning on reeds, and it seems that they spawn on them first. So it's a good place to start looking when you first get up north and early in the year is look for reeds, because that's usually where they are first. And that's what we're doing today because it's cold and not your typical spawn day by any means. It was 49 degrees when we got out here. So certainly not a typical spawn day. But we have found a few. Nope, not him. All right, we're gonna show you a few baits that I like to throw on beds. This first one is kind of new to everybody. It's called a Ned's rig. It's on a mushroom head. This isn't the kind of bait that you can throw around reeds, but it's good for open beds. It's real sticky, little hook, light line. If you do need to go Texas rig, a small 4-inch worm, I prefer. This is a Zoom dead ringer, and the good thing about this little bait is that you Texas rig it and you can fish it on anything. But when it wears out, you just flip it around and you can fish it. These are very inexpensive, and this watermelon gold flake is my go-to bait, along with a few other guys that are into this bait. We really like them. You can't beat an Erie darter. When we were up on Walloon, they were really eating this bait, Charlevoix. I like the goby color with the white bottom the best. On a painted head. The jig head is, you know, you go by size. The lighter the better, but in some situations when it's windy, you got to go heavy. And that's another bait. The bait I was catching a lot of the fish up on Mullet Lake this week is just a regular old white Yamamoto with a Ned's rig head on it, a mushroom head. And they seem to like it better than any other bait I was throwing up there. It's a real good bait. That's a good one there too. Today we're on Bel Air, and it's similar to all the glacier lakes in the North region, from Burton Mullet to Elk and Torch and Skagmog and Intermediate Chain, Leland, all these glacier lakes up here. And when you're coming up here to spawn fish, there's really just a few things you look for. Reeds, you look for sand flats that have clay veins, and that's the important part. Is you get up on a sand flat, you got to look for the clay. The sandgrass, as they call it, grows on the clay, and that's where the fish will lay their eggs and do their business, and that grass holds the eggs. Of course, rock edges and rock, and then wood, and those are the four basics that I look for when I come up. And you're always looking at edges when it comes to rock and any type of lay down wood. It doesn't have to be huge pieces of wood either, just small pieces of wood laying on the bottom. You know, when you come up here, in my opinion, you start on the smaller lakes, the shallower lakes that warm faster. Look for the reeds, look for the grass edges, and any type of wood. And then there's everything else. I've caught fish off of engine blocks, chairs, buoy markers for sailboats, anything. So you look for those as well.
Mark and I ended up fishing for the better part of the day, and what started out as a cool and rainy morning turned out to be a pretty nice night on the water. Special thanks to Mark for inviting me out and for giving us all a few tips on how to catch smallmouth bass in northern Michigan.
Well, if you own any kind of hunting dog, really, sometimes it feels like you're feeding them for 12 months for really only a month or two of prime hunting action. Well, there are some things that you can be doing this time of the year to get those dogs ready for the upcoming hunting seasons.
A few weeks back found me just north of Ionia at one of the Pine Hill Kennels properties. Today, the Great Lakes Sport Dog Association was having an event, and I was excited to learn more about this group, run my dog, and see what the judges were expecting from dog and handlers here today.
I'm looking for a lot of style in the very beginning. I'm looking for how the handler handles the dog. The response when the handler handles the dog is pretty important. When the dog goes on point, I love to see the dog that will stand there steady until the handler is able to flush the bird, is what's really important to me when I look at a dog. Then in the very beginning, we have the novice, which are a lot of puppies. That stuff right there, you know, we kind of work on it as we're going out there in our tests. We kind of talk about it and show them how we can fix certain things if the dog's not steady on their birds.
What did you like and not like there?
One of the things I don't like when the dog initially establishes point. You got to make sure that dog stands there and stays there. The handler needs to look for the bird. If he can't find the bird, then he needs to relocate the dog by either tapping the dog on its side. However he orchestrates his relocation would be a good idea. Have him relocate that bird, then establish a new point. Then once he locates the bird, flush it, but the dog shouldn't be moving, shouldn't be taking any steps, no creeping, any of that stuff. So we're going to work on that in the next bird, and I'm going to show him what we need to do by picking the dog up, setting him down, telling him whoa, and then maybe I even may hold the dog next time for him.
I was really impressed with this group. It was a great way for new dog handlers to get some really good hands-on help in getting their dogs to be a better hunter in real-world hunting situations.
We are Great Lakes Sport Dog Association, and what we do is we get dogs together and our handlers, and we take them out in the fields and actually put on mock hunt tests and hunting scenarios in an effort to train the hunter and the dog on how to run and hunt test and become a better hunter.
So this is good for the beginner?
Yes, this is absolutely the beginning.
Okay.
Yes.
But you do get some pretty finished dogs in your team?
We have everything from your meat dog, your preserved gun dog, all the way up to national champions.
The Great Lakes Sport Dog Association did have everything from pups just getting their first whiff of live birds to some dogs that were as good as they can be. For me, I just love to see good dogs work, and even though not in grouse cover, it's still fun to watch them do their thing. Well, I am glad, as were most of the folks here today, that their shooting was not part of what was being judged. Now, Scott Brozier is the owner of Pine Hill Kennels, and I had him talk a little bit about what they are all about.
We're more or less a full-service breeding, boarding, training facility for dogs, as well as a guide service for upland game, i.e. Preserve hunting, as well as upland grouse and woodcock, and we provide a limited guide service. We are a semi-private club, so we do have members, but you can hunt here and not be a member.
Having a chance to talk to a full-time dog trainer was great, and I wanted to get his take on the Great Lakes Sport Dog Association.
It's a very fun, low-pressure oriented organization. So when you come out here, you're not expected to have necessarily the level of training that you would per se in like NASTRA or BDC or any of the field trial, the Rough Grouse Society field trials. It's very low key. You have a lot of people with a varied array of dog experience that can help shape your training and give you tips and tricks on how to move forward. So should you decide to go into another hunting venue, or if you want to do the games, it's a stepping stone for a lot of those opportunities. Excellent training for the hunter and the dog. To be able to work your dog outside the hunting season, as we all know, there's nothing better than birds to train to make a bird dog.
Well, what makes a good bird dog is time, some luck, and lots of birds under its nose. But when it's all done right, here is what you get.
Right here, buddy. Right here. Right here. Over here. We'll go to Steve. Over here. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
So that's how they're supposed to look, eh?
That's how they're supposed to look. Believe it or not, that's how they're supposed to look. Not supposed to move when you take steps. I mean, as you can see, I showed you that bird inside the grass there. No, that dog's not going to move. That's a 100% broke dog. And you can see by the retrieve, straight at it, straight right back to you. And that's what you're looking for in a broke dog. To where you can step in the grass, you can relocate him if you need to. He'll establish point again. And as establishes his point, as staunch as you did the first time. And that's kind of what you're looking for.
So if you're looking to help your bird dog along, the Great Lakes Sport Dog Association, well, it might just be for you. A bunch of hunters with everything from puppies to master hunters, doing what they enjoy, chasing bird dogs here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
Well, in this next story, we're going to go to the southeast part of the Lower Peninsula for a very unique archery shoot. It was happening not only here in Michigan, but across the world. Just a week or so back, a very unique archery event was happening in southeast Michigan and really all across the world.
We're at Tomahawk Archers in Temperance, Michigan, and we are here for the World Dragon Shooting Day event. We're fundraising for 3 different families, 3 local families in Michigan. This is a worldwide global event, and we always pick a national headquarters to hold our shoot. And this year we're at Tomahawk because Patrick Hogan is one of the Tomahawk members who has really helped us over the last couple of years, and their whole club has gotten behind us, and they always have a 50-50 raffle that they donate to. And we decided, you know what, let's just go there. Let's get that. It sounds like a great club. It sounds like a great community. And that's what we did. And it has been a tremendous turnout. The community here has been just phenomenal.
I first heard about this event from Dorothy. The genesis of this event happened quite a few years ago, and her devotion and love of her son Wyatt is really what spearheaded this shoot that is now going global in its impact.
World Dragon Shooting Day started 4 years ago when my husband died, and our 7-year-old son wanted something to do to honor his father. And his father was one of the original artists for Dungeons and Dragons. So when Wyatt was at a grief camp 3 months after his dad died, he was asked, "What do you want to do to honor your dad?" He said, "I want thousands of archers slaying dragons in honor of Dad." He goes, "But Mom, it'll never happen, it's only a dream." And all the other kids told me dreams never come true. So as a parent, Jimmy, it's a poke in the chest. And to me, that was a big dare. So 6 months after he said that, we had our first shoot, 113 shooters. The second year, word got around, it spread around. We were emailed from Malta and contacted on Facebook from Gazo saying, "Can we play too?" And that second year, it went to 3,000 shooters from 25 countries and 25 states. Last year, we were at 6,000 shooters. It was 65 countries and 35 states. This year, it again has grown and it's gotten bigger. And every club that shoots has what we ask them to do is you need to donate at least 50% of everything you raise to a charity of your choice. And that's what they do overseas as well. They pick a charity and that's what they do.
I have to say, as I walked the grounds here at Tomahawk Archery, I was really impressed. The place and the people running it, well, they are both top-notch.
We're down in southeast Michigan, just north of Toledo, Ohio, about an hour south of Detroit, right on the state line. If you 3 miles south, you're in Ohio. And we've been here since 1954, gone through ups and downs of the archery world, and we're kind of riding the end of this Hollywood craze from the last couple of years, and we're doing real well. And we offer monthly public shoots. We have indoor leagues. If you're a member out here, you gain access to our 40 acres. We're located in some unique habitat, part of the Oak Openings. Our property is managed by the Nature Conservancy. And so we're kind of promote the whole habitat conservation, and we just want to get families outside and get a bow in your hand, and where they go from there, it's up to them. There's more help out here for this shoot than we've ever had for any of our other shoots. There's people out here I don't even recognize helping out, non-members helping out. They realize that we're helping 3 families, and they just want to get behind it, so they could be part of these other families that are involved. And it's quite the turnout for a Saturday shoot. We're competing with graduation parties are starting early, and baseball and lacrosse and everything else. So it's nice when people make their choice to come out here and spend some time.
Well, putting on an event like this in one location, well, that's a lot of work. But expanding it to reach over 30 states and several countries around the world, well, that is really something else.
It's a wonderful feeling. I mean, my eyes are leaking throughout the day because it's a sense of pride, and it's a sense of community spirit. And that's really what it's all about. Our motto is to impact the world one arrow at a time. And that really is what it is. It is one arrow. Every time you're shooting an arrow, here, you're shooting for somebody who's not there anymore. You're shooting for somebody who's sick. You're shooting for the person that you want there to be with you and you can't be. So let's all do it together.
There was a real sense of togetherness at the shoot today. All the folks participating knew that the proceeds were going to help 3 Michigan families that are going through something hard, recovering from something hard, or somewhere in the middle. Everyone's heart was in the right spot, and it's amazing how the hard things in life can bring us together like few things can. Thanks to all the folks who made today possible. Let's hope for more and more shooters every year here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Well, a very special thank you to both Dorothy and Pat for not only putting that event on, but just for blessing the families that were a part of that day. Like I mentioned, there were 3 families that got some gifts given to them from the generosity of all the people that were there on that specific day. One of the families had lost both parents in an automobile accident. One family is currently fighting cancer, and then the third family is actually my family. We fought pancreatic cancer for a little over a year. My wife Dana did, passed away earlier this year, and we were just very humbled and very fortunate to be the recipients of just some generous gifts from the folks there that day. So thank you very much. I think I can speak on behalf of all 3 of the families. It was just a really cool event, so thank you for that. And it just goes to show you that there are so many great, generous sportsmen and women, not only here in the state of Michigan, but beyond as well. So thank you to everyone that was a part of that. And like I say every week on the show, if we don't see it in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see it right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By the Michigan Wildlife Council, Using scientifically based wildlife management methods like breeding and restocking Michigan lakes and waters with native fish species to ensure they'll continue to thrive and be here for generations. Learn how Michigan manages wildlife at hereformioutdoors.org. By the Michigan chapters of Safari Club International. For over 40 years, SCI has been protecting hunters' rights and promoting wildlife conservation here in Michigan and around the world. SCI chapter locations can be found on the web at firstformichigan.org. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. With its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses, Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo.